Okay, we're back. We are here at the YouTube Cubing Championships. We have 10 competitors from 6 different countries competing for the top prizes in 3x3, 2x2, as well as Solve 2 Super Flip. So how this is going to work is we have a video right here, and which is over here, and this will have all of the competitor videos where they'll each have an average of 5 of each event. And then up here we have the leaderboard, and as the competitors go along, they will each have their best time put up there, and then they'll be ranked as the video goes along, and then the average results will be released at the end to crown the overall champion of this contest. So first off, we have 2x2, and I guess let's get started with our first competitor. So our first competitor is Abram G from the United States. So Abram is using the MGC 2x2 and a first solve of 556. His 2x2 average, or not average, his 2x2 PB is 1.8 seconds. He averages mid-5. So let's see how he can do in this contest and if he'll be able to beat his normal average. For solve 2, looks like he went for blue first side at 6.02 for solve 2, which seems like a decent time for him, but not quite mid-5. So next up we have solve 3. Looks like yellow has a bar. See if Abram uses that to his advantage. What color will he start with? And he starts with white. Oh, no, he starts with yellow. Final T-perm. A little bit of trouble with the timer there, but 8.07. Alright, ooh, yellow's got a L as well as green in this cross. Easy inspection there. A very quick solve, 4.87. Very good solve by Abram. Now for our final solve from Abram on the 2x2 round. What color will he go for? He goes for yellow. And a 5.60 will be his final time with an average of 5.85. So let's see over here, what was his best time? His best time was 4.87. So I'm going to go over here, 4.87. So Abram starts off in first place in this first 2x2 round. Congratulations to Abram. Now up for our next competitor. Our next competitor is On L from Vietnam. So, unfortunately, On L did not have a very good filming. 8.12 for his first solve there. Can't really see the cube very much, but I'm still including it. He did show the times after each solve, which essentially is what you need. So we're on to solve 2 on L. On L, like I said, is from Vietnam, and he is using the YJ Yuko V2 as his 2x2 of choice. He averages around sub 10 on 2x2. Gets 21 there though. Unfortunate, unlucky solve for him. Next up, solve 3. And he gets a 7.75. That's under his average of sub 10. Now for solve 4. By the way, thank you to all the people who actually got a video sent into this contest. He gets a 9.81 there. Unfortunately, we did not have the amount of videos sent for the amount of people who are registered. A lot of people missed out, and that's unfortunate for them. I would have liked to see them be able to compete in this contest as well. They weren't able to do it. They didn't miss the deadline. So on Lee, 7.77 there on his final solve, and his best time was 7.75. So he will be up there in second place after Abram G. So now it's time for our next competitor, Archie W. from the UK. So Archie, one of our youngest competitors in this contest. Like I said, he is from the UK, and he is using a GAN 2x2. By the looks of it, could be a 251M GAN 2x2 as we get started with his first solve. He's got the white side and doing the final corners, and 22.71 for Archie. Great solve by Archie. Next up, solve 2. And in this second scramble, yellow does have a bar. Interested to see how these competitors will use that into their advantage. See how they react differently to that yellow bar. See what color did Archie go with. And looking like he went with, yeah, white. So he didn't use the yellow bar. He saw something better that was faster for him. Now for the last couple of corners, and a 19.53, another great solve by Archie. Archie is only 8 years old, so definitely a talent by Archie, being able to solve these cubes with such speed. And white already done in this solve. He's got 2 more corners. This is probably going to be a fast solve. And 12.94. He's happy about that one. Great solve, Archie. Now for solve 3. 3 or 4, I can't quite remember. What color did he go with this time? White. Okay, so he is doing white on every time on this 2x2. Oh, a little drop there. See how he can recover. Two more corners. So he's doing the beginner method for 2x2 and a 25.51 for this solve. Alright, I think we have one more solve left for Archie. The only competitor from the UK representing his country in the YouTube Cubing Championships. Got white done. 2 more yellow. Got to finish the final couple of corners. And 23.68. The average of 22.58 for Archie. So Archie's best time was, let's see, 12.94. So he'll be in third place. Great job, Archie. I thank you for competing in this contest. Next up, we have Chase K from the United States. So Chase K is using a GAN 2x2 as well. See what color he goes for first. Looks like he went for green. A little bit of a pause there. 11.36 for Chase's first solve.
369.
So it's looking like Chase is using the Ortega method for 2x2. which is a method that requires a couple more algorithms to learn to enable you to solve a little bit faster. Let's get started with solve 2. And a quick 2 sides for Chase. Oh, and a last layer hesitation there. 8.33.
33.0.
Next up for solve 3 is another yellow bar. Will he use it to do, will he do yellow first, or will he do another color? Yes, he does yellow. He got the white. And 8.73 for Chase K on his third solve. Next up, fourth solve. See what he chooses for his first color. Looks like he chose green. Quick 2 sides yet again. And a 9.34 for his fourth solve.
9.349.
Next up, the final solve for Chase K. So, Chase's 2x2 PB is 6 seconds. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. That's actually, that's his 3x3 PB. Chase K is actually my cousin. Another 8-second solve there.
008.
And he has a 6-second 3x3 PB. Pretty unbelievable. But he was able to get it done in that solve. So, Chase K finishes all 5 of his 2x2 solves. His best time was that last one, 8.00. So that will bump up Chase to 3rd place. Alright, now for our next competitor in the 2x2 round, Darsh K from the United States and India. Alright, and he's off. Chooses white. And a fast solve by Darsh, 675. Next up for solve 2. What does Darsh usually average for 2x2? So Darsh is using a GAN 2x2 yet again. He gets a 6.40. At this point, if he doesn't get any faster times, that'll put him in 2nd place up here on the leaderboard. There's a white bar there. Does he use it? No, he goes for red. Oh no, he goes for yellow. I think it's a 6.5. Video cuts off there. They had some trouble with the stack mat. Their time was 6.5. Next up, 4th solve for Darsh K. Yes! And it gets 6.68. Yes! He's very happy about that solve. Now for his final solve. He has to beat Abram G if he wants to be able to win this contest. Goes for yellow. Now white, and it looks like he's got a J-perm or a T-perm there. 8.52. Not quite a fast solve. But he did get that 6 point, let's see, what was it? He had a 6.40 solve. So that will put him up there in 2nd place behind Abram G. So Darsh sits in 2nd place. Abram G still sits in 1st place with a time of 4.87 as his best single. Now it's time for our next competitor, Jacobo F from the country of Spain. Hey, I think Hakabo is actually watching right now. Shout out to you. As we get going here on your first 2x2 solve. He's using the GAN timer. Really like how that GAN timer lights up blue on the edges. Looks really cool. He goes for red as his first color of choice in this solve. It gets 13.27.
13 seconds 27.
Next up for solve 2 for Hakabo. Hakabo is using the GAN 251M Leap as his 2x2 cube of choice in 11.76
11 seconds
for his next solve.
76.
Now for solve 3. Looks like more of a tough scramble. I don't see any bars from this view. What color does he go for? Looks like he went for yellow. And one final T-perm. And 10.12. Good solve by Hakabo.
10 seconds.
He's got 2 more solves left. Ooh, a yellow L there. He's got to go for yellow. He goes for green. Guess there's something I didn't see there. 7.39. Great solve by Hakabo. That'll put him up there in 3rd place. Unless he can do better in this final solve. This yellow bar, also orange and green are possible options for this solve. What does he go with? Goes with white. Looking like a fast solve. 7.44.
Yeah, I thought it was
Barely
going to be
gets past on L for 3rd place. So that was Hakabo's final time.
7.
And he gets an average of 9.77. His best time was 7.39. And that will put him up there in 3rd place. Actually, yeah, let's see. There we go. He gets 3rd place provisionally at this point. We have 3 more competitors. Next up is yours truly.
0.44. Okay.
Alright, so this is me. And let's get going with the first solve. It's funny to commentate yourself. Something funny happened in the first 2 solves in the 2x2. 5.99. Got sub 6 on this first solve. And I'm using the Qi MS 2x2. Qi Magnetic. Now for solve 2. So solve 1 I got 5.99. The funny thing was on solve 1 I got 5.99, and then on solve 2 I got the exact same time, 2 at the same time in a row. So that was a coincidence. Now for solve 3. So 5.04 on that solve. I use the Ortega method, but I don't know all the algorithms. I only know what is necessary. There's a green bar there, but I go for yellow. A little bit of hesitation there. 5.77. Now for our final solve. Alright, next up we got yellow first at 5.80. And that was my final solve. I had an average time of 5.85. My best time was 5.04. So that will put me up in second place after Abram. Now it's time for our next competitor, Nigel P. So Nigel is using the Chi timer, the only competitor to do so in this contest. A pretty cool timer. It looks like he's using a Monster Go 2x2, which is a sub-brand of GAN. There's a lot of bars in this scramble. What will he go for first? He goes for red. 2-move red side. Great solve so far by Nigel, 5.75.
5.75.
And Nigel averages normally on 2x2 3.5 seconds. Now for solve 2. And he gets a 4.36. That already puts him up on the top of the standings for 2x2 for the singles, beating out Abram G. Will I make more comps? Possibly. 3.4940. Nigel P crushing it out. That definitely puts him up on the top. If I may make more contests, but I want more people to be able to send videos. I had around 23 people registered, and I only got 9 or 10 people to send the videos, which was kind of unfortunate. But I still got enough to do this live stream, which is what counts. Now for Nigel's, I believe this is his final solve. 6.13 plus 2 for that. It was a 4.13. He gets an average of 4.79. So Nigel had a best time of 3.4. A great time. 3.40. And he'll be going up all the way to first place. Up over Abram. Abram has finally been dethroned in the 2x2 round. Okay, I'm going to read the live chat here real quick. Okay. Next up, we have Riley K, our final 2x2 competitor in this contest. So Riley is using a GAN 2x2 as well. The GAN 2x2 seems to be the competitor's choice for this contest. Lots of GAN 2x2s. We also saw a Monster Go, which is a sub-brand of GAN, as I said. GAN is one of the most premium cube companies that there is. 8.60 for Riley's first solve. And looks like he's turned his timer off, but he did still get that solve recorded. Next up, got a blue and orange bar in this scramble. Lots of opportunity for a quick solve here. What will Riley do? What color did he go for? Looks like he went for orange. No, not orange. Went for white. And the final T-perm 11.97. Next up for solve 3. And there's only one yellow bar in this solve. No other bars so far. This is a hard scramble. Let's see how Riley deals with it. And he goes for white. Got the yellow on top, and now for the final T-perm yet again. And a plus 2, 16.18 plus. He did have 14, but he got plus 2 now for his final solve. See, oh, there's a yellow bar there and a green one. He does have a pretty fast solve, but 10.41 plus 2. He had another plus 2 on that solve. Unfortunate for him, 2 plus 2s. Oh, there's one more solve after this. Okay. He's got looking like a good green side combination. Not sure if he's white solve only. It's looking like he's only white solve, yes. Will be able to beat the time 9.95. And he gets an average of 10.77. So Riley's best time was 9.95. So he'll be going up in 8th place. So that was the final competitor in the 2x2 round. So here are your individual time results, the best single times ranked in order. Next up we have the 3x3 round after a quick break. We are back for the 3x3 round of this competition. The YouTube Cubing Championships has returned, and we have the 10 competitors in the 3x3 round right up here. We have a new name or two up there as well. Grady K and Amir Z also coming out to compete in the 3x3 round. And so let's get started. First off, we have yet again Abram G. This is in alphabetical order, so Abram will always be going first. Yeah, Archie did a great job. Thank you for competing, Archie. As we go up to our first solve in the 3x3 round, Abram G. See what we got here. Going up for yellow cross O. He knows full OLL. 16.90 will be the first time to beat. Now for solve 2. And he does go for white. Yet again, a white cross solver. I'm a white cross solver as well, so I can't really be talking bad about them per se, but it does give you more options if you are color neutral. It's just really hard to get used to if you are so used to doing the same color as starting side every time. 19.69 for that solve. And Abram G averages normally on 3x3 16 to 18 seconds, and his 3x3 pre-beat is 12.01, which so close to sub 12. I hope you get there someday. So we get started with solve 3. And a nice little anti-tune there, and H-perm there, but he gets a +2. 19.14 will be that solve's time. So you got 17 plus 2 be 19.14. Now for solve 4. So this time he is doing yellow. So some people will do white or yellow cross, because the yellow is the next easiest color to do if you're used to white cross. And if you can do it, if there's a solution on yellow that's just irresistible, it is good to be able to do yellow instead of white. 19.06 for that solve. And Abram G is from the United States. Looks like I forgot to put the flag next to his name. But he is from the United States. We have a lot of competitors from the United States in this contest. And J Perm there, 16.30. I think that's his best time so far. And that looks like his final time. Yes, it was. He got an average of 18. So let's see. His best time was 16.30. So I'm going to go and put him up there. First place. 16.30 there. And Abram G is in first place in the 3x3 round yet again. He really is good at taking the lead early in this contest. Next up on the list, we have On L from Vietnam. The only competitor from Vietnam in this contest. So, just for future reference on, I would like to have the video so you can see most of the cube in frame. It's a lot easier for the viewers and for me to commentate on the solve. But from what I can tell here, he did solve with either start with yellow or white. He started with yellow, 18.36 for his first solve. So he is using a keyboard for this entry in the contest. Well, at this point, Abram, you are still in the top. Let's see if somebody can beat you out. 19.03 on the second solve for On. Yeah, so this book in the frame here, kind of a hard video to decipher what you're solving. So if you have to, you can solve it. What you can do is you can put your phone or your camera in a cup. 15.55 there. That puts you in first place over Abram. 15-second solve. As I was saying, you can put your phone in a cup And if it's in vertical mode, then you'll be able to capture more of the actual solve because the phone will be higher up and it won't be pointed down. So if you need to, that's what you can do. 16.44 for that solve. Now for one more solve. Stay hydrated. For all you Tingman watchers out there, you'll know what I mean. If you haven't seen Tingman, go check him out on YouTube. He's a great wholesome cubing YouTuber. He's got great videos. 15.08 for On. That'll put him up at the top of the standings. So he got, let's see, 15.08 there. And that'll put him up first place over Abram, about 1 second ahead. Now for our next competitor, Archie W from the UK. Good luck to Archie in this 3x3 round. Let's get going here. He's using the Moyu timer and mat. Also the only competitor who has filmed their entry outside, enjoying the weather. And let's get going right here. He starts with the white cross. So for those of you who aren't familiar on the solving techniques of a Rubik's Cube, this is the beginner method, which is a version of a method called CFOP, which stands for cross, F2L, OLL, and PLL. And how that works is you start with 4 white edges that make kind of a cross shape, and then you do the corners, and then you do edges building your way up layer by layer on the cube, and then you finish off with the top last layer, which would be orient the last layer and then permute the last layer. And depending on which version of the technique that you will use, it will be more or less algorithms. And Archie gets a 45.07 for his first time. He's happy about that one.
Okay. Oh, that's what you were doing, resetting it.
Now for solve 2.
Then. Go on.
You can see there he's starting with the white cross. He's got 3 of them done. Now he's got 4, and then he starts to speed up right there when he gets to the first corners. And after the first corners, he puts the edges that go right above the corners, which would finish off his first 2 layers. And then after that, he'll get all the yellow stickers, if you want to call it that. This is a stickerless cube. But all of the yellow sides on top there, you see he has 3 more yellow sides to go. Okay, so he got all the edges done, and now he's permuting the last 4 of the yellow. Now he's got the last couple edges to go here. And a time of 49.85 for Archie. Now for solve 3. The box slowly creeping away out of the frame there. Thank you, Mom. And thank you to all the moms who make cubing possible, just in general, whether it be bringing your kids to the contest, supplying them with cubes. Just thank you for helping cubing being what it is. So he's got the first 2 layers done here. Got the last layer to go. Fixing the last couple of corners. Now he's got the last couple of edges. He's got a Z-perm there for the more advanced solvers. That's what that would be. And now he's got a U. U-perm, which would be a U permutation. And a 43.23 for that solve. Next step for solve 4. So you can see, almost done with the 4 cross edges. Now he's got to go. When he speeds up there, that that means that he is starting off on the next couple of corners, which would be the next step in solving the Rubik's Cube. Now he's on to solving the couple of edges, and now he's on the last layer. Got to get the yellow cross now. There, he's got the yellow cross, as you can see. Now he's got to orient them and then get the last couple of edges. So by orient them, that means you got to have the yellow edges not only have yellow on top, but they also have to match the sides of the piece as well. And a 49.40 for that solve. Now for his final solve of this contest, Archie is getting ready for his final solve. White cross, here we go. And he's got the, looks like halfway through the first 2 layers. Got one more slot to go. Now he's got to get the yellow cross. Right there he does. Now for the last couple of corners, as well as orienting the last couple of edges as well. Last couple of moves. One more U-perm to go. And a 53.19 for Archie. And he gets an average of 48.1 for his 3x3 average of 5. And his best time was 43.23. So Archie, 43.23. And he'll be up there in 3rd place. Alright. Next up we have Chase K from the United States.
F L. Okay.
So Chase K is using the GAN 11M, or let's see, the GAN 12 maglev. Used to saying the 11M Pro, 12 Pro. The GAN names can get kind of confusing, but he is using the GAN 12 maglev with the UV coating from Speedcube Shop, I believe. As he gets going here on his first solve. So Chase finishing off his OLO, which would be getting all the yellow on top. Now doing PLO, and he gets a 36.18 for his first solve.
36.184. Part 2 D prime.
Next step for solve 2. And he is off, so I actually know Chase personally since he is my cousin, and I know a little bit more about his solving than some of these other competitors. He uses CFOP as well, and he does a little bit more of an advanced version of the first 2 layers, which would actually be called the F2L step. And what that is essentially is in the beginner method, what you would do is you would get the cross, and then you would get the first couple of corners and then put the edges that go on top of the corners second. As he gets finished there, 36.30 for that solve. But what F2L, full F2L is you are getting the first corners matched up with their edges at the same time into the slot. So it's a lot quicker, it requires a lot less repetition than if you were to put the first corners in and then add the edges later. It's more efficient to do them both at the same time, but it takes more practice and concentration to be able to do that. And I'm not even done with the learning F2L either. It's a learning process, and if there's not one you learned F2L, it's always more you can learn. People are always coming up with tricks all the time to make it more efficient for different cases, because there's so many cases of F2L cases you can have. Now for his final U-perm of this solve, 32.4 or 0.04 for this solve.
And L.
Next up for his third or fourth solve. He's got one or two white edges easily put in. The red edge for sure. He's holding it till the end. Oh, there he goes and puts it in. Holding the edges that are most easily put into the cross is the better way to do it, because if you leave all the edges that are harder to get into the cross till the end, then you have more restrictions on how you can get them there. So you want to have your cross edges that are easiest to get into the cross, save them for the end of the cross, not the beginning. It looks like he's got an A-perm there. And 32.98 for his third or fourth solve. And unfortunately, I did not receive the final solve from Chase K, so that would be a DNF. He gets an average. That average is incorrect. I incorrectly typed that. The actual average is 35.15. And his best time was 32.04. So he gets 32.04, and that'll bump him up to third place. All right. Next up for our next competitor, we have Darsh K from the United States and England, or the United States and India. Darsh K, another one of our youngest competitors here. He is only 8 years old as well. And he is using a GAN cube as well, I believe. Not sure, but I think it could be a GAN Air. It could be a GAN 356X. Could be XS. I don't think the 11 or the 12 came in stickered plastic. I'm not sure about that. So it looks like it to be a little bit of an older model of GAN cubes. And Darsh going really fast there. He's got an RA perm. He does U-perm, so he does 2 look. Oh, a crazy U-perm. 23.003.
Yes, another PB.
Great solve by Darsh. Next up for solve 2. And he's off. So in the last layer on solving a Rubik's Cube, essentially what the more advanced you get, the more steps that you take to solve the Rubik's Cube get combined. So when you first learn how to do the Rubik's Cube with the beginner method, you break it up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 steps. 22.84 for Darsh there. This split up into 8 steps, and the more advanced you get, the more steps are combined into one set of algorithms. But each time you combine a step, it requires you to learn more algorithms. So for instance, on OLL, you have, on the beginner method, you would have 2 algorithms. The algorithm to get the yellow cross on top, and then one algorithm that you would repeat over and over until you get all the yellow corners. As Darsh is about to finish up his solve here. 20.12, great solve by Darsh. Almost sub 20. But as I was saying, and then if you learn full OLL, it will give you 1 algorithm plus 2 for Darsh there. Unfortunately, he turned the cube before starting the timer. During inspection, that would get a plus 2 for him. But full OLL, you would learn around 50 algorithms, but you don't have to repeat the same one over and over to get the yellow cross and the yellow corners in 2 separate steps. So, and there's in between as well. You can learn some more steps that kind of subdivide OLL. so you only have to learn some of them that will require around 6 or 7 algorithms, which would make it so you don't have to repeat so many algorithms. Repetition is what you want to get rid of when you're trying to get faster, because if you can do one algorithm, it's better than repeating the same one over and over that you already know. The main problem is memorizing them, and that's where the hard work of a cuber really pays off. Now for a final U-perm.
Yes!
18.35. Darsh is very excited about that one. Gets an average of 30.02. I think that one is incorrect as well. 20. Yeah, okay. So a lot of these averages are incorrect for some reason. That's my bad. And Darsh has a average of 21.99, not 30. And his best time was 18.35 right there. So 18.35. And he'll be going up third place, right behind Abram, who got 16.30. All right, so next up we have on the list Amir Z. So Amir is from Australia. The first time that we'll be seeing him in this contest, the only competitor from Australia, and representing his country. So Amir is using the GAN timer this time. I love how it lights up blue on those sides of the timer, and he gets up going off. Got the MGC 4x4 just chilling there in the background. Is he trying to say that I should have had a 4x4 round? Well, I mean, depending on the skill of the players in the 4x4 round, I may consider it. 22.27 for Amir. Good solve by him. But I wouldn't necessarily want to do 4x4 if it takes too long for people to solve it. I like to try to keep each solve from each competitor under a minute, and unless you are really good at 4x4, you probably aren't going to be getting it under 4 seconds. I mean, 4 seconds, under 1 minute. So that is why I did not include it in this contest. So as Amir gets off to his second solve, he's got a very fast turning style. Looks like he got a G-perm there, and a U-perm for the final time, 23.04 for that solve. Now for solve 3. And he is off. Somebody says I should do Pyraminx. That would be a possibility. Pyraminx as well as Force Cube. I may do that if I have enough participation. The main problem with this contest at this point was the lack of videos sent in for the amount of people who registered. 24.19 for Amir on that third solve. That would put him in 4th place on the leaderboard at this point. I believe this is his final solve. He may have one more after this, but as he gets going, I can't tell, but I think he knows more full F2L. And he's going off here, 20.72, almost sub 20 there. The sub 20 barrier is a eluding goal. I remember not being there. You'll get there if you keep practicing. I average around 16 to 18 seconds, and I did not compete in this contest because I did not want to dominate my own contest. Didn't want to be like, congratulations to me, you know. Amir put in his video, which would you rather, the J-Perm RS3M or the Yo Cube from Cubehead? Well, I have the J-Perm Million Special Edition Cube right here. as he gets 24.69. And this is actually becoming my main. He averages 23.16 for Amir. Some great solves by Amir, but as I was saying, the J Perm RS3M is a very good cube. I really like it. So yeah, I'd prefer the RS3M. So I'm gonna go check the chat here. Tell all your friends to join the next competition. Yes, definitely do that. I would really appreciate it, as well as tell them get the videos in on time. I'm sure there are a lot of people who registered that are disappointed that they weren't able to compete in this fun contest that we're having here today. So Amir got a best time of, let's see here, 20.72, so almost sub 20, not quite there. 20.72, and that'll put him up there in around 4th place, right above Chase K. And Amir will be in 4th place provisionally at this point. We have 4 more competitors to go in the 3x3 round. Next up, we have Grady K from the United States. So Grady inspecting his first solve. So at an official WCA competition, for those of you who aren't aware, they give you 15 seconds to inspect the cube, 15 seconds of inspection, and that will allow you to plan your first couple moves in the solve to be able to start as quickly as possible, so you don't have to waste time saying, okay, I'm looking at the cube, so I want to know, what I want to do at first. They give you 15 seconds of inspection to be able to do that, which is very nice for some of the competitors who can look farther ahead into their solves. Some of the higher class solvers, the world class solvers, can look all the way up sometimes into the second F2L pair, which is almost halfway through the solve during inspection. So that's a really good skill for a cuber to have, as Grady's finishing his first solve here to 49.22, be his first solve. So Grady using the timer for inspection this time, just to make sure that he doesn't go over the 15-second limit. So at an actual in-person WCA contest, what they'll do is they have the judge sitting there, and he'll tell you when 8 seconds has passed, and he'll tell you when 12 seconds has passed. And if you go over 15 seconds before starting your solve, then you'll get plus 2 seconds. And if you go over 17 seconds, then you'll get a DNF, which is not really what you want. If you want to be able to get a good time, DNF is not really... It's the slowest possible finish you could finish for your solve. So Grady going on OLL here. He got the 4 yellow corners there, or 4 yellow edges now for the corners. Depending on which method you use, some of them will orient the last 4 edges before the corners, and some of them will get all the yellow on top and then finish the edges and corners later. It depends on where you learn how to solve your Rubik's Cube, what tutorial or pamphlet you will use. And he gets a 56.17 for that solve. Next up, solve 3. Grady is using a StackMat brand timer, a Speed Cube Shop mat. So he gets going here with his inspection. StackMat timer is the only timer that you're allowed to use at a WCA in-person competition. So it's good to practice at home if you have one. They are a little bit expensive. They cost like 30 or 40 bucks. But they are useful in learning how to get used to the competition start-stop instead of going like tapping your spacebar or phone with one finger. You have to have both hands down on the timer. So some of these other competitors use stack mats that weren't StackMat brand. We saw Gan, we saw Moyu, We saw Qi, which is, all three of those are Chinese companies, which make speed cubes that aren't Rubik's brand. Most of these competitors are using speed cubes that are not actual Rubik's Cube, like the classic Rubik's Cube brand. As you can see, the original Rubik's Cubes, they don't turn very fast. They, like, if you want to go at faster speeds, you have to be able to have a cube that goes faster than this. You can see this one locks up all the time. Grady gets a 5679 there. But if you have a faster speed cube from one of these Chinese companies, there are a couple other ones that are not from China, but if you have a faster speed cube like this RS3M here, it doesn't lock up, and it's has springs as well as magnets, and some of them have tensioning systems that will allow you to turn the cube at a faster pace without locking up. And cubers will do all sorts of things to customize their cubes. They'll put lube in it, they'll put different springs, they'll put different strength magnets in them, and some of the more recent flagship, which is like the main 3x3 that companies will come out with, have all these adjustability possibilities already built into them, so you don't have to mod the cube yourself. That's like this cube that Grady K is using here. This is the GAN let's see, the 356X, and this cube, I believe, has adjustable magnet strength as well as adjustable tensioning in the core. So the that will allow Grady to adjust the cube to a specific liking, and how he turns would complement the way the cube will turn as well. And Grady gets a 54.29 for that solve. And he's got one or two more solves to go. Once again, thank you to all the competitors who sent videos for this contest. Without you, this wouldn't have been possible. This has been really fun so far, and maybe I'll do another one sometime. Comment down below in the live chat or in the comments if you want to see another one. And also, tell me if you want to see Pyraminx and Skewb make an appearance here on the YouTube Cubing Championships, and I'll take note of that. So Grady's starting off here with his white cross. He's getting the last, white corners next. You can see there, that white corner getting in right there. Now he's starting off with the 4 middle edges. First one he's doing is the, see which one he's got there, the green-red edge. Next up, he's got the blue and orange edge. Going around the cube, getting all the edges. Now he's got to do all the yellow edges. He got all the yellow edges on top. Now for the corners next. He's got the final couple of corners here. And 49.96 for Grady. So that will be his last solve. In the 3x3 round, he gets an average of 53.47. And his best time was 49.22. Let's take a quick look at the live chat. Thank you so much for organizing. We would definitely want another comp. Archie would love to do Pyraminx. All right, that's great. That's one reply to that question. So in case, for those of you who don't know what a Pyraminx is a Rubik's Cube type puzzle that is shaped like a pyramid. And it's a little bit simpler than a normal Rubik's Cube, and it takes a little bit different strategy to be able to solve it. And it's one of the faster events on the WCA list of puzzles that you can solve at the official contests. And it's also one of the 2 only puzzles in the world that have the world record less than a second. Alright, next up we have Jacobo F from Spain competing in 3x3. Jacobo getting ready for his first solve, and he is using a GAN 12 maglev as well. And he's off. What color does he start with? He starts with, looks like possibly white. No, he started with, let's see. Yeah, he started with white. Now he's on to F2L. Now he's on to OLL. Getting into his corners now, and he's got a U-perm. And a 30.96 for Hakabo's first time. You can see there on the timer, the GAN timer. GAN timer comes in a couple of colors. It comes in black. I believe it also comes in gray. And I think another color like red, blue, one of those colors like that. It comes in 3 colors. And I've never actually seen the mat paired with the timer before. But I'm pretty sure that they were designed to go together. And the mat looks pretty cool as well, having all the different world records through the years. And Hakabo is starting on his second solve. He's getting done with F2L. He's very smooth. He doesn't have very many pauses. That's also another crucial element in speed queuing. Hakabo is doing that right. So the less you can pause, the more efficient you can be. And 31.69 for that solve for Hakabo. As I was saying, the less you can pause, like, it may think, oh, I just paused for like half a second, it won't affect my time. But if you pause for half a second like 5 times, that adds a couple seconds to your time. So the way to not pause in your solves is what's called look ahead. So essentially what that is, it's most important in the F2L stage. It's where you are solving an F2L case, but you're not looking at it. What you're doing when you're solving something is already looking for the next thing that you're going to be solving before you're finished solving the thing you're already doing. So that is also a very hard thing to learn. It takes a lot of concentration. You can't really do it when you're tired. And that's something I'm still working on as well. And that will eliminate a lot of pauses. And when I am able to successfully, 29.20 plus 2 for Hakabo, still sub 30, which is a good time for him. When I am able to do the look ahead efficiently, then it cuts off at least a couple seconds, like 3 or 4 seconds for my times, and then I'll start getting really good times. So look ahead works, but it's hard to learn. Cabo is going up on his third solve here. He's got one more edge to put in. Now he's got to do OLL. Got all the yellow edges together. Now got all the yellow corners. Had a Z perm. I did 2 U perms instead. 29.91. Another sub 20. Hakabo may be able to get a sub 20 or a sub 30 average if he gets another good solve here. And he is off for his fourth or fifth. Seen so many solves today, it's hard to keep track. He's getting the edges done here on the white face. Now for Ola. Ola is done. And a couple A perms to finish it off. 27.73, another sub 30. That pretty much seals his sub 30 average. Oh, so close. 30.02 average. So close to sub 20 or sub 30. I'm sad to see no sub 30. I'm very surprised, actually. Congratulations, though, Hakabo, anyway. You still did good. Let's see, what was your best time? Hakabo's best time was 27.73. And that will put him up there in 5th place. Alright, we have 2 more competitors to go in the 3x3 round for the first ever YouTube Cubing Championships. and then we'll go on to the solve into a super flip event after that. All right, next up we have Nigel P competing in 3x3. I believe, actually. No, Nigel P only competed in 2x2. Unfortunately, I didn't receive a 3x3 video from him, and I failed to take his name off of the leaderboard. Next up, we have Riley K, and this will be the last competitor in this contest. So let's see, we got one white edge in there, but not in the right position. The white orange edge, immediately Riley puts it in there, as well as for the white blue. And he's already got the cross done. So you can see there, what Riley did was he matched up two of the F2L pieces and then put them in at the same time. Now he's got all F2L done, and now he's on to 2-look OLL, and now he's got a U-perm. 27.95. Cube goes yeet. But Riley gets 27 for his first solve. Now for solve 2. See the GAN 2x2 back there. Oh, I forgot to mention, Riley K is using the Dayan V1 for his cube of choice. This was my previous main. It's the quietest cube on the market. There's no other cube that really feels like it. It's amazing. It does have slightly weak magnets, but it is very, very quiet. Riley just getting finished up with his F2L right here. There, it's done now. F2, let's see, OLL. He had a Y perm. Oh, he has a H or a Z perm. And 40.94. Harder solve for Riley. Now for solve 3. So Riley getting off to a quick start here. Just put in the orange and green pair, the blue and red pair. Now for orange and blue. He's got F12 done. Gets the last couple of corners. H perm. 24.17 for Riley. Great solve. That's got to be his best solve so far. He's got 2 more solves to try to beat that time. But at this point, that'll put him in 5th place. Alright, he's off to F2L. He's got 2 more slots to go. Green slots. Green and orange right there. Now for green and red. Now he's on to the yellow cross pieces, and now the yellow corners. And he's got a J perm. Does he know it? No, he knows T perm. So he does 2-look PLL as well as 2-look OLL. 41.90 for Riley. Now for Riley's, I believe this is his final solve. Yes, it is. This is the final 3x3 solve in the YouTube Cubing Championships. Here we go. Got green, white, red, white, orange, white, and blue, white as well. Now for F2L. Got 1 slot, now 2 slots full, almost 2 slots. Now he's got 2 slots. Now for the looking like orange and blue, right there. Now he's finished with F2L. Now he's on to OLL. Finishes Ola. What's he got there? Looks like a RA perm. And now for a final U perm. And a little bit of mess up there. 40.81 for Riley. So he averages 36.56. His best time was a 24. Just to make double checking here, he got 24.17. So that will put him on the leaderboard up there in around 5th place. What did I say it was? 24.17. Okay. 24.17. And Riley will be going up in 5th place. So that is the final 3x3 round of this championship. And here are the single results. First place on Lee with a time of 15.08. Congratulations to you. Next up, Abram G in second with 16.30. And Darsh K in third place with 18.35. The average times will be announced at the end of the video right after the Solve 2 Super Flip, which is coming up next here in a couple minutes. Alright, we are back for the Solve 2 Super Flip Challenge. Unfortunately, I only had 2 submissions for this challenge, so this will be pretty quick, and then we'll get on to the full results for this contest. So first off, we won't be having the leaderboard up here. This is still the 3x3 leaderboard because we only had 2 competitors. So first off, we have Abram G for Solve 2 Super Flip, and Abram says he can't wait for Solve 2 Super Flip on his favorite event. I'm glad you thought that. I wish there would be more competitors in this event. It's definitely one of the unique events in this challenge. I actually also had registration open for Rescramble, but I was the only one who entered a video for that, so I postponed that. So first off, Abram G with the first Solve 2 Super Flip Challenge. Here we go. This is only going to be one solve, and the concept is simple. Solve the cube from this scramble into a super flip, and you can't solve the cube first and then do it into a super flip. And then for those of you who are new to cubing and you don't know, a super flip is a pattern on a 3x3 which flips all the edges, and it looks like this. And so this is the goal that the cubers are trying to solve into when they're solving into a super flip. So it's a little bit of harder challenge because it's not just solve this color here and this color here, but we'll see how Abram G does here. It's a little bit harder to commentate as well because it's not as intuitive as you would think. So he's got all the edges in the correct orientation up there on the top. Now he's got to get all the yellow corners right there. And now he's got to finish orienting all those last 3 or 4 edges to put them in the right spot relative to the rest of the cube. And that was the wrong U-perm there. One thing about these special challenges, it takes a little bit more brain power. And he gets a 1 minute, 8 seconds, and 82 milliseconds for Abram G. And that's their first time And now for Chase K, the only other competitor in the Solve to Super Flip Challenge. Will Chase beat Abram G in this contest? We'll have to wait and see as he gets started here.
Okay.
So, in future contests, if I include Solve to Super Flip Challenge yet again, should I also include Solve to Checkerboard? Let me know in the comments, and I'll take that into note. So, for those of you who don't know, Checkerboard is a simpler pattern where the edges and the are just flipped to the opposite color, and it looks like a checkerboard pattern or a tic-tac-toe pattern, if you want to call it that. So, Chase K finishing up on his last couple of edges in the super flip. Looks like he's a little bit faster than Abram G.
Nope.
Time is ticking. And he's got it. 56.13 for
wow.
Chase K. And he'll be the champion of the Solve to Super Flip Challenge. And Abram G will be coming in second place. Congratulations to you as well. So that was just a fun little challenge. Hopefully next contest, if I have one, we'll have more competitors in this event. So now it is time for the final standings in this contest. I would love to do a checkerboard pattern. Abram Grimsley, I believe it is. I will consider that. Now it's time for the final release of the average overall scores for all of these competitors. So let me get this ready here real quick. Make sure they're all off. All right. And now we are here, and I'm going to release them 2x2 and then 3x3, and in that order. So first off, we're going to look at the 2x2 singles champion is Nigel P with a time of 3.40. Congratulations to Nigel P for getting first place. Abram G coming in at second, and the numbers up there are incorrect. Let me go ahead and fix that real quick. But as I was saying, congratulations to Nigel. Congratulations to Abram. Congratulations to me for getting third place. And all these other competitors as well who competed in this contest. So here, that was the 2x2 singles championship. Next up, we have the 2x2 averages. And this will be the best average time will be the champion of the 2x2 round as a whole. So the champion of the 2x2 averages is Nigel P, who gets first place in the 2x2 round championship. And Abram G comes in at second. Jeremiah comes in at third place yet again. Nigel gets a 4.79 average. Abram gets 5.72. And I got 5.85. Darsh K gets 6.64. And On Lee gets 8.56. And he'll round off your top 5 competitors for the 2x2 average round. Now it is time for the 3x3 singles championship. After I fixed the numbers like I did last time, I was a little bit lazy in the editing. Alright, here we go. So now, the 3x3 singles championship, as we already know, On Lee getting first place with a time of 15.08. Congratulations to On L. Not Lee, On L. Abram G getting second with 16.30. Darsh K in third with 18.35. Those were your top 3 best singles in this contest for 3x3. Now for the overall YouTube Cubing Championship 3x3 champion, average champion. And your champion will be On Lee with an average of 16.78 for 3x3. Congratulations to On Lee from Vietnam, who will be your champion of this contest. Abram G coming in at second with 18.36, and Darsh K coming in at third with 21.99. Amir Z coming in at fourth with 23.16, and Hakabo F rounding off your top 5 with a 30.02. Thank you all to all the competitors competed in this contest for sending in videos on time before the deadline. This was really fun. I may have to do this again sometime. Comment down below if you want to see more events, if you want to see this more often. How often would you like to see this type of contest? And I'll look at those contests and take those into consideration. Well, thank you all so much for watching and competing in this YouTube Cubing Championship. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you, hopefully, in the next YouTube Cubing Championship. And until next time, this has been Jeremiah, and I'm going to sign off here. Thank you all yet again.